to me, my Z-listers. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Adam, and you're watching the Z-listers podcast. And today we have a special review. We're going to be going over season 2 of X-Men 97, the animated series. If this is your first time with us on one of these solo reviews, how I like to do it is give a little non-spoiler thought of what I thought of the full season. Then we'll go episode by episode and break it down, key points, what I thought, and maybe I'll answer some of your questions in some shorts once we get done with the video. So let's get into it. X-Men 97 season 2, we jump right where we left off in season 1. We are in ancient Egypt, we are in the future. We have three different timelines. So we have one group in the past, one group in the present, and one group in the future. I felt like a little bit of the separation of the characters in regards to three different timelines and storylines going on. And only 9 episodes is a lot to handle. It's very tough to keep a story very tight, emotionally and grounded, like they did in season 1. We'll get into what I thought in more in the breakdown, but overall, I thought it was an okay season. X-Men 97 season 1 was phenomenal. I loved it. I felt like this one was trying to go out there with their ideas, but I felt like the story wasn't as tight knit as the first season. So that's my first initial thoughts. If you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and click off, watch the second season, and come back to this review. And we're about to jump into it. Let's go. So starting off, just a little brief summary. Like I said in the beginning, we have three different timelines. We have a group in the past, we have a group in the present, and a group in the future. If I remember correctly, the people that were in the past was like Beast, Magneto. We have Charles. In the present, we have the newer X-Men, Jubilee. We have Sunspot. We have Cable that actually got introduced into the story with Psylocke. I believe Rogue was in the past also with Nightcrawler, but my memory is very vague because it's so recent. And in the future, we get Jean, Cyclops, and I believe Wolverine. But they eventually get back into the present. So we'll get into that. So it's 9 episodes. I'm just gonna break it down into 1 through 3. So key points from every episode, and we'll go from there. So in the first episode, we actually are in set in the future with Scott and Jean in 3960 AD with older Nathaniel, where they actually sent him in the first season to help protect him with the nanotech virus that was injected into him to help save his life. I wasn't really feeling in regards to emotional connection between in regards to a parental feeling in regards to Scott, Jean, and Nathaniel. I know it was such a harping fact in regards to they were trying to do what's best for Nathan, but it just kept going on and on throughout the season. And I feel like it came back in the last episode, especially. And Cable was just his own character. He was raised almost without his parents. So they really don't have that connection, which I felt like that kind of storyline was very lackluster to me. I didn't really enjoy it too much. Episode 2, we jump into actually the present time where we get to see older Cable recruiting Jubilee and Sunspot to form the X Force. Really cool group. I love the introduction with Angel and Psylocke. As you know, a big Marvel Rivals fan, Psylocke is a OP character at the beginning of that season, and she is great in this season here. I love the action. I felt the stakes. They're just trying to hunt down anyone in the governmental section in X Factor just to get any information towards our goal. We jump into episode 3, which is now set in the past, where our POV is switched over to Magneto, Xavier, in ancient Egypt, which they are trying to help young N'Sabunur, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, which is young Apocalypse before he got the technology from the Celestials. They're trying really hard in regards to form their own path in regards to Magneto's POV, saying that we can change the past, we can change how like Apocalypse doesn't become who he is, but at the end of the day, his destiny and actually takes a crazy turn. So we're at episode 4 and 5, where it's like the mid-season pivotal big changes are happening. All three timelines begin to collide together, where all this storyline with Apocalypse is influenced through space and time. That's past, present, and future. This is where we come to the big turning point of the season, where the X-Men in the past discover the ship that initially gave Apocalypse his powers comes to fruition. And Sabinur has always been distrustful of these X-Men that came to from the future, and I think this was the strongest point of the season for me in regards to emotionality and connection with the characters. They're trying really hard for Apocalypse to see from his standpoint, trying to change him. But at the end of the day, he has such a tough past in regards to being a slave for one of all these kings, which we came to find out was just crazy. It was Kang. A little sneak in there. It was good, even though we're not going to see Kang in the more of the future because of the Jonathan Major situation. But going back on track, Kang dips out. He said he had enough. He's seen enough. He knows Apocalypse is about to do his thing. We see Apocalypse reunite with the ship, get this celestial power, become who he is in present day and in the future. And we see the X-Men try to stop him, but it's too late. We see the X-Men try to fight their best they can since he's still fairly new, which is crazy to me because when he turned, I don't understand. I know he has god powers, but how did he know to use the ship already? And how did he already have an establishment of his powers? I know it's really of a nitpick for me, but it didn't quite make sense for me. But eventually we see the X-Men get their ass handed to them, which was a great battle. I loved it. I love Magneto from the first season to this season. And this is the gut-wrenching part we come to is we lose Magneto. Man, that was such a needle drop. Oh, I just felt the pain Charles is fine in regards to connection with Charles. It's like a brothers, frenemies, but they know they have what's right for each other. And just seeing Apocalypse take out Magneto like that was absolutely stunning. And that was a cliffhanger at the end of that episode. Oh my God. So we get near to the back half of the season and we're introduced into episode 6, where we are actually changing POVs to the X Force in regards to specific Polaris. We learned that Polaris is actually the daughter of Magneto, and she does actually have magnetism powers, which is awesome, which she gets to carry on the legacy. But of course, in every superhero genre, we they all have daddy issues. So we see throughout the story that she's weighing on her guilt in regards to is what she's doing is the right thing for the mutant kind. And eventually, she leaves X Force. She goes back to the X Men. She rejoins the team, and she is reunited with Charles. They have a great discussion in regards to finding out that actually Magneto died, her dad, and that scene with them at the table was very good because they had two different perspectives in regards to one only seeing the negative in Magneto, but Charles seeing the great side and great man he is, sharing that perspective to Polaris to help push her into her next story. And I can't forget talking about episode 5. Episode 5 was my favorite. That was the standalone episode in regards to, you can say it's filler a little bit, but that's when you see Wolverine and Morph and Sabretooth and all the other characters that are involved hit one of the labs that originally was the Weapon X program where he got his adamantium and all those bug scenes were great. It was a great little horror episode because we don't get too many of those. And I thought it was a very good episode. It was very scary to see Wolverine kind of wild natured, trying to kill other people. But eventually he does get back his adamantium, which I guess is for convenient plot sake. It's just they needed to give it back so he doesn't feel really underpowered. So we get into episode 7, another filler type episode, but I do understand where they're getting into in regards to building up the character relationship and the nature of Nightcrawler, how he reacts, how he is as a person, in regards to even though his brother is the main person spearheading the anti-mutant movement in regards to running for presidency, that is still his brother, and he will still save his family no matter what the feelings are. And this is where we're introduced into the Savage Lands in regards to the new group where Colossus is the leader of, and they go through the whole spiritual court scene in regards to why is he good or why should he stay alive for what he's done to mutants like us. It was a little bit of a nothing burger for me. So we get into episode 8 and 9 with which is our finale arc, as I like to call it. Man, I felt like they were trying to wrap up a storyline that was half baked or finished a whole meal that was halfway put together because I understand we got the ending of season 1 where we figure out that Gambit was killed in that Genosha incident, but building up a whole season in regards to bringing him back while Apocalypse is overtaking his body felt a little bit lackluster to me because it was introduced such late in the season. I felt like it should have been a building throughout the season. And especially my gripes with this season is the landing in the writing of the last four episodes. It just really took a downturn in regards to quality because everything felt so rushed. And I don't want to put this stigma onto X-Men 97 because it's such a great original series, and season one of the renewed one is just, it felt like such a what if episode, if you know what I'm talking about. That particular episode with Peggy Carter collects all these freaking powers, Hela's helmet, Thor's hammer, Miss Marvel's powers, the shield, etc. I understand what the writers were doing in regards to a sacrifice needs another sacrifice, and Rogue was willing to take that chance in regards to loving Remy, and she wanted to save him in the cost of her own life, which is fine. It's a great gimmick they always do. But if you're going to give her celestial powers, I want her to use it. She is a strong character enough, but she's going against one of the strongest characters in X-Men history as a Gambit combined with Apocalypse powers. It was such a bland ending in regards to just like true love kiss type of thing where she fixes everything in regards to just hugging him. I don't know. I just feel like it didn't stick the landing. Its punch felt very weak at the very end. Costume was very over designed in regards to Gambit. I do enjoy the original design, minus with all the final act scene. But eventually, we do learn that Nightcrawler is the one who sacrificed for Rogue so they can stay as a couple to be judged and be that sacrifice so they can live on in happiness. So, overall, a lot of me was just felt like it was rambling about negatives, which I felt like it really wasn't. They had really good episodes, like episode five with the Wolverine one in the beginning of the season. I do enjoy that Cable episode when they're doing recruiting, and episode with Magneto eventually getting killed. Very strong points at the beginning of the season. But I felt whoever took over in regards to the writing room in the last couple episodes, maybe starting from all the way from seven. The Polaris episode was good too, but eight and nine, I just don't think it really stuck the landing for me. So overall, as a season rating, I do rate my episodes with a number each one, so I can add as a cumulative and give it a average rating. And what I came up with was an overall of a 7.2 out of 10. In my books, it's still a pretty good season. Some I've talked to that didn't very much enjoy it for the same reasons. It lacked its punch near the last four episodes, but it's still really strong. I still have good and high hopes for the next season, eventually with what they do, especially with Mystique. So they do a lot of storylines in regards to the live action, in regards to Mystique trying to assassinate the president. They did that in the one with Days of Future Past, which was a good movie in itself with Jennifer Lawrence. But I'm just excited for the next season. And you let me know what y'all thought about X-Men 97 season two. Feel free to comment, and maybe I'll get to one of your comments and react to it. But feel free to stay and subscribe. If you want me to watch anything else and review, I actually am about to do a review for House of the Dragons with one of my special guests and a Avatar The Last Airbender review. So get ready and come watch that with me. And we'll catch you on the next one, y'all. See ya.